Hi, this is Tina, Director of Operations with Windermere Property Management in Walla Walla. And in this video, I would like to touch on three topics. First, I wanted to give you an overview of how things are going here with respect to COVID. Secondly, I'll touch on the rental market. And lastly, discuss how rent payments have gone so far since my last video. So we'll jump right in. As you may or may not know, Governor Inslee, he instituted a moratorium on rent increases and on evictions. That moratorium was scheduled to expire on June 4th. And on June 3rd, he did extend that moratorium through at least August 1st. So as of right now, we are prohibited from increasing rents or from giving notice to increase rents. So that means if you have a tenant that's expiring in September, we cannot send them notice saying that their rent's going to, be increased as of September 1. So we can't even send that notice. We also are prohibited from terminating leases. So it's not, in my mind, I'm not concerned about that because, as I mentioned in my last video, the majority of the tenants that we rent to are very good tenants, tenants worth holding on to. The majority of the homes that we manage are at least market rent or close to market rent, so extending for another year with those existing tenants, um, you know, is a good option, I guess. As we'll be contacting every owner individually, as we've always done with respect to the lease renewal options, um, because we understand it's not a one size fits all. Sometimes, we may have some owners with different goals that maybe they want to let their tenant lapse into a once a month until we can increase rent, for example. But to the majority of our owners, our recommendation will be to offer the tenants a 12-month lease to sign at their existing rate, just to kind of lock them in until next year, especially given the uncertainty of kind of the times that we're in right now. But as I said, we will be contacting you if you have leases expiring over the course of the next, several months. You'll get contact from us so that we can have the discussion before we reach out to your tenant. Um, as far as COVID restrictions, we're in phase 2 here in Walla Walla County, so we've had a lot of businesses reopen, um, a lot of retail businesses, some restaurants in some fashion. They still can't accommodate as many people as they maybe would like, but this is good news because we've had some more people go back to work and not have to rely on unemployment. We're still not at 100%, as probably many of you may be in the same boat, but I'm glad to see that we're kind of moving through this. Uh, as far as move-ins and move-outs, we had about 35 of them over the course of May. The majority of those at the end, but over the course, between May 1st and May 31st, those all went very smoothly. We didn't have any delays as far as people not being able to move out on time. People that were scheduled to move in on a certain date were able to move in on those dates. So that went very smoothly. I expect it will go the same, for the move-ins, move-outs we have for June and July. So really, we haven't seen very much effect on that as far as COVID issues that could come up. So some good news there. As far as the rental market as a whole, as I said in my last video, it's pretty much the same. It's really strong. We have a lot of people looking for rentals. We've had a fair amount of traffic online, sending in guest cards. We also have a lot of people contacting the office through the phone, wanting to schedule showings or asking just general questions, submitting applications. So things for the most part have been kind of flying off our shelves. So it really, COVID hasn't really affected, the rental market that I can see. It seems to be just as strong as I would otherwise expect it to be. And I expect that to continue on through August into September. And then, naturally occurring as it does in around October, it starts to slow a little bit. But right now we're doing the rental market's doing really good. As far as rent payments, so this month we had even fewer. So we had 4. So I think last month it was around 5. So this month it was 4 tenants. It was, for the most part, I think 2 of the tenants were the same, or 2 of the same that had issue last month. And 2 this month were kind of newer tenants having some kind of issues with getting their unemployment going. But really, in relation to the number of tenants that we service, is a very small amount. I think it's less than 1%. So far, so good on that front. And for the owners of those particular tenant, those particular properties with the tenants struggling with rent, we've already contacted you. So owners, as you're watching this, if you think, gee, I wonder if that's one of my rentals, if we have not contacted you by the time you view this video, it was not one of your rentals. Your tenant has paid, and so you're good to go for the month of June. Um, that's pretty much all I have to report to you guys. Pretty much good news. We're doing really well here in the office. It's very, very busy as we expect it to be this time of the year. Things are hopping. Lots of work orders coming through, lots of people moving in and out, just a flurry of activity. So it's yeah, kind of, I was going to say fun, but maybe not for some people, but I enjoy it quite a bit. And I think most of the employees here do too. It makes the day go by fast, and it's rewarding work. So we're working hard for you. Lots of activity. Certainly if you have any questions about this video or anything else, having to do with your rental, please feel free to reach out to us. And as always, I hope you're well. And that's all I have to report.